pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Today is Monday, April 5th, 2021. The time being 5 p.m. The meeting of the Greensburg Board of Works is called to order at this time. Please silence all electronic devices to comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. Brenda, could you please call the roll?
Jamie King.
Here.
Karen Rust. Here. Rodney King.
Here.
Glenn Teddy.
Here.
You all should have received a copy of the minutes from the March 1st meeting, the special meeting March 16th, the special meeting March 29th, and the executive session on March 29th. Having reviewed all of those minutes, are there any additions, corrections, or edits? If not, we take a motion to approve each of those.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie. Is there a second?
Second.
Glenn, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, there being no old business, we'll move directly to new business. We have Hans with us this evening for a discussion about seasonal cafe outdoor seating. Please come on up, sir. If you don't mind, state your name for the record and what your request is.
My name is Schreiber. I'm with Carriage on the Square Smokehouse, and I'm just here tonight to see if we can get a fence that's just right outside of Carriage on the Square to the alley towards the, I guess it would be the alley towards the branch there, just so people can sit out and have a beer. I know we can't have beers outside without the fence.
Is this what kind of fence is it that's going up?
I'm sorry.
What kind of fence is it that's going up?
Just like, I talked to John Grimes, who's going to do the work, so I guess just like a metal, a nice, kind of like the one the beach has or like the Cats has, you know, just like a black fence,
Is it a temporary?
wrought iron.
Is it temporary or permanent?
I like it to be temporary. I mean, it's nice, it's not gonna look cheap, but the idea was to have it to be temporary, and then we can remove it when we're closed or like in the winter time. I really don't want it, something that's permanent. So that would be the idea, to have something out there just when Carriage is open, and then when Carriage isn't open, it can be brought in quickly, and, you know, so it's not in anybody's way when Carriage on the Square is in during open hours.
So you're asking for something similar to like what the beach and the tap have?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
it.
theirs is on the sidewalk and you want to put yours in the alley, right?
Well, mine would go to the alley.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be in front of Carriage. I think I sent some pictures. So it'd just go in front of Carriage and then shoot over to the alley. And then people could sit in the alley. Maybe someday we'll eventually open that up. But at this point, I got it kind of like shut off there so people can sit in that little area and then in front of the restaurant.
So you actually have two areas, it's going to be one. You're going to have an area in front of the restaurant itself, and then an area at the alley.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
And
all.
it's going to be one big thing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Is your 6-foot measurement from the back of the landscaping or from the curb?
Well, I believe we gotta have at least 6 feet from the park, or like from the curb. So it'd be like 6 feet, basically 6 feet from like the restaurant out.
But the landscaping there, so you started at the back side of the
yeah.
bushes.
I don't wanna go, it wouldn't start where the landscaping is.
Right.
It would be past the landscaping, so there'd be plenty of room between that. I wanna go in front of where Jean's was previously. That would be 119, so I want to be in front of that.
Do you own the entire alley now, the full width? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that went through, we purchased that from Slimmer Wholesale, I want to say in the end of 19 or the beginning of 20, somewhere in there.
I remember there being discussions about that, just didn't remember it being happened. Okay.
Yeah, Carriage owns 119, 117, and then that alley there.
Mayor?
Yes,
Mayor?
Sarah. Come on up, please, if you don't mind.
in speaking with Hans about this, he was in here last time, it is a 6-foot clearance from the curb edge in towards the building, and there will be no landscaping in the way of that. We've already checked into that, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You're gonna drill holes into those papers. That's how this works, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, years ago, I thought about doing something like this where it'd be like kind of temporary and where we could just set up like, not so much like cones, but like, you know, just something lightweight where we could just like border it off. But there was talks if somebody leaned up against it, thought it was like a real fence, leaned over, fell, there'd be some kind of, you know,
Sure.
something like that. So, yeah, we'd have to drill under. Like I said, John Grimes, and he seems pretty experienced. He's been doing this for a while. That's something he feels comfortable doing. We would put caps, like if the fence was removed, we'd put caps on it, and he didn't think the hole would be, you know, very big, maybe, you know, if that.
Sure.
So, I mean, I don't want it to look bad, and I don't want to take, we got a beautiful brick walk there when it's clean, and I don't want to see anything damage that, because that, you know, makes it look nice in front of Carriage and all the other buildings there on Broadway. It's, you know, so I wanted to make it look right. I don't want it to look out of place at all.
Sure. Okay.
Or damage it.
Well, it seems to have worked in those other locations that are on the square, and we made an adjustment to ordinance some years ago in order to allow this to happen. And from what I can see, he seems to have taken pretty good care in trying to make sure that he complied with the ordinance as well. I think it's important that you do have something that's capable of somebody hitting it or touching it and not collapsing. And putting a cap back, I think, is very important too, and I like the idea of being able to remove it when fall comes and early spring and you're not out there. I think that's important, so.
Thank you. And that was kind of the idea behind being temporary, like, you know, things happen on late Saturday nights, Friday nights downtown. And it would be nice just to bring that in. That's one less thing, because kids will be kids, you know, somebody might try to jump over it or something like that. And I don't want it to be out there in the winter time when, you know, when we're shoveling, or sometimes they take a bobcat down and push snow or plow snow down, and I don't want it to be in Gary's way. So that was kind of the idea of it being temporary, just so we can use it when we need it, and then it's out of the way when we don't.
Okay. Any other questions for Hans? I think it's a great addition to downtown, and would ask for a motion to accept this as proposed.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Rodney, seconded by Dee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Up next, Police Chief Brandon Bridges. We've got a BolaWrap policy discussion. I do believe the chief's going to ask for a volunteer to demonstrate this.
Mr. Teddy's already volunteered.
Yeah, I'm very willing.
Okay, I sent this policy out to you last week. Mr. Kane had sent some stuff back to me asking questions, so I will go through some of those questions that he had. On number 1, the reason why we use suspects, subjects, and officers is because not everybody that we come encounter with might be considered as a suspect, so it might just be a person with an intellectual disability that we're trying to get calmed down, but if we can't get them calmed down, that's why that wording is in there. It can be removed.
No, I thought it was a double, like, two in a row. So,
The suspects and subjects.
I don't know what number 1 is.
Okay,
Reference where you're talking to.
He felt like they're in, underneath the purpose and scope, where it says minimize injury to suspects, subjects, and officers.
Yeah,
And so I
understand.
okay. The second one was underneath the policy itself, under 309.2. The question was, how many tethers can the device hold? And what would be the reload process? That is, it will hold one cartridge, and that more than likely a secondary officer will be there either as a contact, or they also might have a device to where you can actually, if you have to use it to the upper body or lower body, then you could do that. As far as the reload process, more than likely there probably will not be much of a reload by officers, because once that's done, like I said, contact will be made. Officers right now will only be carrying one cartridge while with these devices. Underneath 309.3 on letter F, the question was, what type of care and maintenance is required for this device? We're going to treat this a lot like the taser, and officers will just be, we had one designated officer that is kind of the supervisor of this. He will just occasionally check the maintenance to make sure, kind of like taser, before every shift, we turn it on, make sure it does come on, battery life is still good. So that's how we do the regular maintenance as far as with this BolaWrap also. Under 309.5, the use of the BolaWrap was asked, what is the operational range? For the most effective use, it will be 10 to 25 feet. So again, a lot like the taser. Under 309.5.1 application, the question was about the mere flight from pursuing officers without other known circumstances or factors is not good enough cause to use a BolaWrap device to apprehend an individual. Again, that's going to fall a lot along the lines of the taser. We instruct officers that if a subject is running on an elevated height elevation, anything like that, near water, we do not deploy. The only way that we would deploy this if somebody is running away is if it's an absolute last resort, if they're getting ready to run into busy traffic, or if they're getting ready to run into somebody's house, then officers would have that ability. But other than that, if the subject is just running, then no, we will not use the device unless it's just an absolute last resort. They're getting ready to possibly injure themselves or somebody else. Okay. Underneath 309.6.1, as far as reports, Mr. Kane asked that we possibly add a letter F to that, which I am fine with, and that will be to report any injuries to the individual once the BolaWrap is deployed. So letter F will read any injuries to individuals from BolaWrap. On further down, on the last page, if a recording is made of the contact, marked out the interview, and it's just going to say, if a recording is made of the contact with the individual, any refusal should be included if possible.
Where was that located?
It will be on the last page, right underneath remote restraint device.
Okay. Could you repeat what you're gonna add there, please?
We are taking out after contact or an interview. So it will read, if a recording is made of the contact with the individual, any refusal should be included if possible.
Okay.
Under 309.8, the question was asked because it states it a little bit different on both these. These devices and training for personnel will be biannually. So every 2 years, officers will receive training and remedial training for recertification on that.
There's just one spot that said biannual, and then there was another spot that said annual, so it's just cleaning it up.
And then the last one was asked, and again, this, I don't think it really says anything in the policy, just a question, if they make training wrap that does not include the barbs, that would be no. There's no officers had to do the training with the barbs in them. So, I guess now I'll take any questions if anybody else has anything else further on the policy.
I thought the policy was pretty thorough. I appreciate that. Looking at the video of it from the company, I was surprised to hear that there's barbs. So what are those barbs?
It's almost like a little fishing hook that once it wraps around, it will actually attach into the clothing. There is a chance if it's short sleeves that it might hit the skin, but it would just be like a removal of the taser probes. If that contact is made, we will have EMS come and take a look, because a lot of times if there's any type of injury anyways, if it's somebody that's going to the jail, we have to have them checked out before they even enter the jail, so that's something that EMS would come out and check.
Yeah. So how long is this? How many times does it go around somebody as fat as I am?
I would say 3 to 4 times.
Wow. That would really trip up the leg, or restrain an arm.
And again, the purpose of this, because one of the big questions we had was, once you get once that you get hit with a BolaWrap, will it actually tighten up? And it does not tighten up. So if your arms are out like this, then it's not going to actually bring your arms in. It's going to keep, you just will not be able to extend them any further out. So that was one thing, because again, the question of the neck region and everything like that, it will not tighten if the subject moves or anything like that. So it will not tighten up.
Yeah, but your policy says that it's only to be utilized if your legs
Correct.
or torso,
Yes,
not
absolutely.
necessarily at the.
Yeah, you don't want to go any
chest
higher
or-
than that, just like a taser. Correct.
You already have these, and some training's already been conducted, correct?
Yes, training has been conducted. We have 5 devices, and then we're looking at purchasing another 5 to 10 possibly out of the seizure money that we've gotten over the past couple of years. And these do have to be registered through the federal government. We had to go through Vance's in Ohio, and at that point in time, we actually had to write out a letter for ATF showing that we do have these devices, so they're actually tracked to the federal side of it also.
I can see the advantage, particularly with somebody that's distraught and doing something that could harm themselves and harm an officer trying to calm them down if they will. Right? And it seemed to be a lot less lethal and a lot less harmful than even a taser, right?
That is correct. As far as use of force, BolaWrap can almost be used as the same application as somebody using handcuffs. And again, the reason why we really looked at going to these again was the mental health aspect. We all know that mental health is not going away. We're going to actually deal with it more. So we were wanting to have that other tool available to officers. Again, try not to go hands-on if we don't have to, and take them into custody safely for either jail or mental evaluations.
Any other questions for the chief? I know we typically don't like approving things that have been edited here. Do we want to review this at our special meeting with the edits, which are next week, so that you can get to use
Yes, I have to update these.
with the policy? Or are we comfortable with allowing the chief to change them, it being implemented with that condition?
I'm comfortable with the changes.
I agree. I think the changes are pretty clear.
They're minor. There's only 2. I mean, I guess I would like to, I'd approve it, but I'd like to see the final copy
Absolutely.
then.
I can have it out to everybody tomorrow.
Take a motion to approve the BolaWrap policy with the amendments as discussed, and should be reviewed by the board within the next few days.
So,
Motion's been made by Dee. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Up next.
Second thing I have on my agenda, this is something that we've never had to face before. Not a bad thing, but of course,
Chief.
normally,
First class promotion.
first class promotion?
That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm sorry.
Hopefully we've had to face that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm actually talking about that.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, so due to COVID, one thing that we haven't had to experience is normally officers at the end of their year of hire date, they roll off of probation and they end up getting first class patrolman pay. But due to COVID, the academy was backed up a little bit, so we have both officers, Officer Peyton Gerkin and Kyle Hildebrand. Mr. Gerkin and Hildebrand are currently in the academy, but their anniversary dates were March the 30th. So I am asking the board to go ahead and, or I'm seeking approval for them to go ahead and be promoted to first class patrolman pay. And then once they graduate from the academy, then the probationary status will end at that time. I can tell you right now that barring anything that may happen in the academy, there has been absolutely no issues with these officers on the street. They have both been released on solo patrol before. They went to the academy. They're both doing really good work, so again, I don't anticipate any issues. I believe Mr. Gerkin graduates this Friday, and Mr. Hildebrand will graduate in June. So that's why I'm coming to the board to ask for. Like I said, I know normally we do this right after a year, but I'm asking for the extension of the probation just until the graduation of their academy dates. And that would, the pay would take effect this week.
Any questions of the chief on that? If not, we'll take a motion to promote both of them to first class patrolman for GPD.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Glenn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rodney, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
Okay. Last week, like I said, we had an executive meeting in reference to the officer-involved shooting that occurred last year in Batesville, Indiana, where one of my officers was involved. So I guess I'm putting it in your hands at this point in time to go further with that.
So I'll read a statement here for us. For the record, this body held an executive meeting last week to receive information regarding the officer-involved shooting from November of 2020 that took place in Batesville, Indiana. The Ripley County prosecutor released a report detailing the incident and came to the conclusion that the officer in this situation acted within their right as a law enforcement official. This report has been made publicly available by the GPD and on our website. This body reviewed the policies and procedures performed by the Greensburg Police Department and Chief Brendan Bridges following the incident and determined that policies and procedures regarding an officer-involved shooting were followed precisely and well within a timely manner. Chief, anything else? I ask the Board of Works to vote for a vote of confidence in supporting Chief Bridges and the Greensburg Police Department in their handling of this officer-involved shooting from November.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Rodney, seconded by Glenn to offer a vote of confidence. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you to your department.
Mhm.
Up next, we have Mark Klosterkemper, Street Commissioner. First item, opening bids for our dump truck that we have for sale. Chris, are you gonna open it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we'll follow the same procedures we did a couple of months ago for the slap test.
Yep. All right, the first one that I'm opening, appears to have received at 426 on April 5th. This bid is from Tony Jackson in the amount of $4,004.21. There's no specific requirements with the bid, so we'll just keep open. This one was received at 3:19 p.m. on April 5th. It's from Ron Fitzpatrick with a bid amount of $6,500. Received at 9:32 a.m. on April 5th. received from Jerome Wright. Bid amount is $2,500. This was received 3/15 on March 26th. Received from Tim's Wrecker Service. The bid amount is $4,000.01. This bid was received on 3/29 in the mail. A bill from Philip Fiscella, Crispin Auto Sales and Export. The bid amount is $3,856.
Turn this book
Turn both of them together. Okay. This was received at 2:32 p.m. on 3/10. Not sure why there's two envelopes, but we'll find out. Okay, these appear to be two different bids.
Same gentleman.
Okay. This bid is identified as being from Jock Ralston in the amount of $475. This bid is from Chris Luddle in the amount of $6,800. Bid opening night.
That's gonna have to remember to do that.
This bid is from Shirks International in the amount of $3,000. Well, do you just want to ask for, Mark, do you just want to ask for approval of the highest bid amount? Or do you want to take some time to review these and,
No, I would say we approach the first bidder. If he agrees to it, we'll sell him the truck. If he disagrees, we'll go to the second bidder.
Yeah, it is,
So that
you
works.
did advertise it as is.
As is, where is, yes.
Okay. With that, is there a motion to sell the truck for $6,800? If that offer is declined, then
$6,800.
$6,800. If that offer is declined, then we'll proceed to the second highest for $6,500. there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie. Is there a second? Seconded by Dee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, up next, heavy trash.
Coming before the board to make a final determination. I'm going to recommend that we have heavy trash the week of May the 17th through the 21st. It's a tad bit earlier than last year, but it gives us an opportunity to have a full week without a holiday afterward to get caught up with the brush and yard waste and everything else. It turned into kind of a nightmare last year with the holiday, so I'm here asking that you agree with that, and we'll start to make public notice thereof.
We have any of your summer help in by then, do you think?
I hope to.
Okay, that's what I was asking. I think it could help to make sure you get that.
Sounds fine.
Okay, all those in favor of the May 17th, 21st, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you much. First thing I have for you all this evening is we have a employee that has submitted a request to all of you regarding vacation time. You've received that information. Any questions, comments, concerns?
The only comment I'd make is the request is for 10 days off, basically for a vacation. The employee has 11 days of vacation based on the record I see here, so I don't know why we would approve that. That's what vacation
The
time's
request
for.
was time off without pay.
Well, but they have,
Right.
time. That's what a vacation policy's for.
I know,
That's,
exactly.
I guess that was my
I agree with
point.
you, I just
Yep.
want to clarify that
Okay, yeah,
the request was for time off without pay
for a vacation.
for a vacation, yes.
Yes, so, and that's what vacation time is for. That's,
Exactly.
sorry. Thank you, I could have stated that a little better. That's-
Okay.
Yeah, I really agree. It's his vacation, he should use it if that's what he wants to do.
Any further discussion with the board? Okay, if not, we'll consider the decision to be final. Then, if you have vacation time, you'd like to take a vacation, that's what we offer it for. Next on the agenda, I would like to request all of you place special meetings on your calendars for April 12th at 5 p.m. and April 19th for 5 p.m. They are public meetings. We will consider more issues and items for the City Hall remodel project. I am hopeful that we are approaching the end of these. We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel, and I would request that you put those on your calendar. I do believe next week, the 12th, we should have 4 items to consider. We already have 2 tonight. They're in the box, but you didn't receive them in time to review them, so that will be next week.
I won't be here on Monday, the 12th.
Okay.
In the future, does it work okay for anyone else to push that back to more like 6?
Do you want to do 6? Is that okay with you all?
What was that?
6 o'clock, is that?
It just helps me with my work schedule.
Okay. I believe we can do that.
Both of them, that's fine.
That's, yeah, if it still works for you guys.
Okay, so the special meeting will be April 12th at 6 p.m., and we'll go ahead and schedule April 19th at 6 p.m. as well. Chief Sturmer, do you have any comments on Fire Education Day, or?
I'd just like to remind everybody that we'll be starting at 7:30, and if you have not RSVP'd, it's not too late, and we hope to see you there.
Okay. Thank you much. I do want to take a moment and address the issue that the community faced today with our water situation. I want to commend our water department and HNTD and Wilhelm, who have been working nonstop since this morning to address a major water line breach that happened. We are expecting service to resume within the next couple of hours, but the whole system has been depleted. We did ask industry to close in order to conserve water. We lost a very, very large percentage of our water within a few hours. They were happy to oblige for the most part as it relates to their production. We were in contact with the schools, the hospitals to help with that. EMA also lended a hand. I know the fire department has been on guard all day for tanker needs. It's been quite a day for us, but I do think that we are about through it. It will take us approximately probably another 6 to 7 hours to regain any type of pressure once the completion is done, which won't be for another hour or 2. Other thing on that, boil water advisory, we are expecting that to take at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 days. We should have more information. I have a call here at 6 o'clock to get an update on where we are with that. And we are hopeful that Friday morning will be our boil water advisory expiration date. We do have to confirm with IDEM about the testing procedures and policies because it was a whole system-wide issue. That's about all I know on that at the moment, but any other questions? If not, you all have had a chance to review the claims. Take a motion to approve those as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made by Glenn, seconded by Jamie. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Okay, we take a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made by Rodney. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Okay, we'll see everybody at 12. Thank you.